we just had the first game of Gen.G versus Kingzone DragonX, and well, it was quite one-sided from the beginning here. Kingzone couldn't get much going, and it was kind of the Ruler and KeSPA show on the Rift this time around. Some good stuff from Gen.G, looking much cleaner compared to their first series.
And there's a reason why we've said ever since rosters have come together, all Kingzone needs, sorry, all Gen.G I should say need to do is buy time until Ruler's online, because this guy is the blue chip. This guy is right up there with Teddy as the best AD carry we've got around. Deft looked a bit outdated. Long have we waited. Ruler was activated in this game #1. Fantastic performance from him. Some nice damage put out from Deft. Again, he had a lot of gold in the early game, but when it came to leveraging that lead, just look at this assortment of fire drakes. This is when you get 5 chocolates, and 3 of them are exactly what you wanted. 2 of them are pretty decent, but you focus on the 3, you focus on the team play, and Gen.G's early game levels up, and they continue winning.
It's funny to see the Ezreal on top in terms of damage pretty much every single game, but that's just the way Ezreal rolls nowadays. Doesn't mean you're going to win, especially when all around you have players that weren't able to really follow up. I mean, the Kazakhs in this game, not really present in any way. Went 0-2 pretty early on in the first couple of team fights and fell behind the Lee Sin, who somehow, Peanut, did less damage than the Kazakhs.
And the Malzahar also may have done 15,000 damage, but really contributed nothing towards the win here. The QSS has really ruined his day, and the mid lane QSS rush really swapped some of the lane swap options that were available. So we're going to zoom into game #2, and we have an update. No changes on either side of the Rift. The Deft fans are going to be wanting a Kingzone win. I think we all want 3 games to show that Kingzone could be a contender and not fall away.
Well, an army guy came to cheer on Deft. Got a big cheer from the Korean casters there, as Deft will always have tons of fans regardless of which team he goes to, and he's supposed to be the guy who takes the reins and carries here for his team, but so far in game 1 wasn't able to fulfill that legacy.
And Peanut has a similar very militant fan base that want to support him and see him succeed, and very early in the transfer window, without a support locked in, remember they ended up having to promote life, he said, nope, Gen.G's the place to be, and I think that's for a big reason, because they have Ruler in the bottom lane. So there is Ruler on your screen. He just wants to continue his streak. He is already 3 games without a death. Now, it took the 4th game for Teddy to finally go down. No KDA available for Ruler after 3 games because there's a 0 in the death column.
It's nearly impossible to pull off, but he's done it so far for 3 games. We'll see if that can continue as we jump into game #2, pick and bans. Looks like Kingzone will be on blue again, so kind of a repeat from the placements that we saw the last time.
Yeah, we're unsure on who had side selection, guys, so sorry about that. I'm going to assume Kingzone because they were the higher seed, having been seeded into this side. So if you follow the logic, that would be Kingzone choosing blue and then Gen.G choosing red. So keep Kingzone on the blue side. Relia banned away. Rakan going to see the ban list this time. We've seen Rakan really pop up in the second week of KeSPA Cup, it feels like, Valdez. It's been much more of a popular pick, and we saw Pop, for example, have a great game on it. So a good game from Mata as well. Life won't be allowed to have it. Was banned away in our first game. Banned away again. And now with the first pick, do we fall back on things? No. We actually first picked away the Akali. It really went unsaid after the early game, but QV's Akali in competitive, way better than expected.
Yeah, very true, and it's funny because we just see the immediate response from QV saying, okay, you want to go reverse matchup? Sure, I'll play Urgot to Akali, I don't mind that. And we're going to have also the Alistair coming in real quick here and is locked in. This is just same thing from the side of Kingzone once again, Ezreal and Tom Kent as well.
So does the Kai'Sa come here for Ruler, or do things change? Is something we're unsure of. Lucian off the board, KeSPA off the board, Ezreal off the board, and Nico also can be in the bot lane. Those are the bot laners removed. Kind of irony around it, Valdez, is that if you remember where Gen.G's season, especially in spring, but to some degree summer kind of fell apart, do you remember when teams realized that there was a bit of inaction around Ruler on Core JJ and you could take Kai'Sa in losing matchups and outscale them? because they would not actually push their advantage. Now it's Gen.G who are the ones that take KeSPA into a matchup that should be Ezreal and Tahm favored and say, don't worry, we'll turn it around. And is that because of the face check in game number 1 or just some outskilling from Gen.G? We can't know for sure, but we'll get more data points as we go into our second round of bans, and Fly tries to remove champions that work against Zoe.
Yeah, looks like that will be the name of the game for Fly, but you'll notice a change up on the side of Kingzone. They're going to take away Lee Sin this time around, targeting Peanut and his Lee Sin from game number 1. Fortunately, didn't get a chance to ban out the KeSPA. There's too many other strong picks in this matchup.
I think Gen.G should anticipate a Zoe ban as we see a Malzahar ban. Okay. All right, then, Gen.G.
I don't know about that
I don't know about that one. That reminds me of the Aatrox ban. But, yep, some mana bans coming here. But I understand it. Again, Zoe's looking like a 100% chance to be picked on the side for Ruler. And then, you know what I want to see, Valdez? Either a Kali mid lane or a different throwback from Pawn, because the Malzahar I wasn't a fan of. You know what I would like to see? The Kassadin. I'd love to see Pawn's Kassadin come back.
Well,
it sounds like a champion that could be very, very risky, and it is, but that would be awesome to see, or a Zed, something like that. A lot of picks into the Zoe removed. How are we feeling, Pawn? Because it won't be Malzahar 2 games in a row.
What is it going to be? Hovering the Talon, yes. Another Pawn special. Thinking about it.
He's got a skin for it, remember?
Ooh, okay, Yasuo comes in.
Pawn's Yasuo, this is a fun one. Pawn says, all right, I'm not role-playing anymore, I'm hard carrying. It's not the Kassadin, but it'll do.
Interesting one. You see the Gragas, and it just tickles the back of your mind, and then we see it come in right away. Now, the Zac was banned in game number 1 in the second phase. Peanut could consider picking it up here. They're going to be hovering it down to last second, and there it is. So Zac going to come in alongside Zoe.
Peanut, the one on the Zac, one of his better Cinderhawk junglers. When the meta hit him, the Zac really helped him through right at the end of spring season. Zac versus Gragas. Cuz and Peanut know so much about winning against and winning with the Zac on Kingzone DragonX. Cuz and Rascal, not really too much to speak about game number 1. Felt like QV won the lane too easily and what should be a tricky matchup. If QV wins the reverse matchup, then people who look at Rascal as a potential problem for Kingzone actually being able to perform will have a lot to talk about.
That they will. QV coming in here, maybe just taking a little bit of time to get used to getting back in the full practice schedule with the new team and all that stuff. Looks kind of mediocre in the first match. We were wondering what's going on with him. Well, game number 1 of this series, he looks like old QV, good QV, and I can't wait to see if he can turn the matchup on its head.
Now, not necessarily multiple winning lane matchups to try to invade on the Zac is one thing we could say. Now, Predator Gragas also wants a bit of time to get going, so maybe you'll say, okay, we both got utility junglers can be wielded, but every time I see Zac get a farming phase for free, good things happen mid to late game. 5 points in Elastic Slingshot and everything turns to gold. For the Zac, as we see the champions on the overlay here, the KDA Akali goes the other way. How can Rascal play on this card? His most played so far in solo queue in the new season. QV takes the reverse matchup. Getting reverse matchup by QV would be a statement by Gen.G.
Can't wait to see how this game changes as we jump into game number 2 right now. Kingzone up against Gen.G, hopping onto the Rift. Well, the fans for Game 2, or rather for Series 2, are not up to snuff compared to the fans from Game 1.
They're just not popping. But do you know what does pop out? Pawn's Yasuo in Korea. If you just look at his games in Korea, Pawn has played Yasuo 12 times. He has won 11 times. Yasuo is a legendary pick for Pawn, but so many of those games were back in the day, Valdez. Now we're in 2018. People didn't even know if Pawn would be starting in LCK Spring 2019 after being off the roster for a lot of 2018 on KT Rolster. He had a big resurgence in solo queue, as that's a lot of gold being pilfered by Deft. He gets lucky this time with getting the gold sack there that was denied from him in game number 1. That is a very, very famous pick for Pawn, but if he doesn't perform on it, then suddenly history feels like a long time ago for Pawn.
It'd be a really disappointing debut with the new roster, too, for Kingzone. If the first time around goes for the, very unique Glacial Augment, the Malzahar, and then he hops back onto his Yasuo, but even then can't take it up against Gen.G. And, we already mentioned Cousin Rascal struggling. They are the main people that are the starters for this new team of Kingzone. They need to be able to show up time and time and again. And trying to make a good impression tonight. They would love to pick up this next game and tie it up against Gen.G.
And I definitely like the draft a lot more from Kingzone in game number 2, and a lot of that's around the Yasuo, and you might ask why. Maybe we'll have to hold that for a moment as Peanut pops over.
Could be a smite fight here as Peanut looking to get on top of Cuz. Life making his way over, but Deft is going to rotate first.
Life is level 1, and he might have Headbutt as his level 1 spell. That's usually what you see from an Alistar, so given that, doesn't actually have much ability to impact, just given the general numbers, we'll back away. Got a Crab on the exit here. The reason why I like the Yasuo is the standard Zoe point of, Zoe in the side lane against Akali and Yasuo sounds like a disaster. So good news there if the lane assignments are what Kingzone want, and when we see a couple of items coming for the Yasuo. Also, if you're QV, we've seen a lot of Urgots be able to repel an Akali, right, as the game goes on. So at Worlds, Keen unable to actually get too many scratches onto, say, Sion or Urgot topside. Can you actually be tanky enough, Valdez, against both the Yasuo and the Akali? Your first thought on a budget is no. The time budget here, there's not actually a reset on the Patience, and it's taken by Cuz. Peanut really wanted the reset.
He's going to have to hop away there at level 2, so really unfortunate the way that wins. Was trying to get the Patience reset, but actually failed. Nice hold there by Cuz.
It's very line ball there, and a different bit of AI, and suddenly it works out for the side of Peanut. So he does get invaded, in spite of it being Gragas versus the Zac. And no Keystone Jungler gets something going. How impressive. Top side.
Here we go already. QV just showing up against Rascal. He's close. Not quite going to make it happen, though. Has the teleport for now, of course, and, still going to win a big trade, and this lane, once again, looks very different.
Reverse matchup QV only ever comes out at the Worlds qualifier, and here we see it. It's off-season, but a different type of off-season in the KeSPA Cup. His reverse matchup looking pretty damn good on this Urgot, kind of what we expected in Game 1, but didn't see. We never watched this matchup until we were 70 CS in, but they both had 70 CS, which was the surprise to us. Not a big discrepancy here so far, but in terms of how the lane's playing out, seems better stuff for QV.
You can see that Cuz at level 3 was also looking to head top and help him out, but I love the way that QV played it and just waited for the right time to put down the ward. Had the lane resetting anyway, so knew he would be just fine, especially with the ward.
Now, as this game goes on, I want to remember that we've really hyped up Zac in previous games. For example, we saw it against two fairly immobile champions, Victor and Varus, yesterday, and we're like, okay, Klid's got this one if he can get there going the Zac. It's a different proposition for Peanut because everyone on the enemy team has a dash of some sort. Yasuo's the most conditional because he has his ultimate or he needs some minions to surf around, but there's a lot of mobility on Yasuo, Ezreal, and Akali, so actually getting a two-man Let's Bounce kind of impossible on the side of Peanut Zac in this particular game. We already said in the mid to late game, being tanky to a Yasuo and Akali feels impossible. So 1-3-1 against either a Zoe, which is free, or the Urgot is going to be very tricky. So there's a lot of good scaling here for Kingzone and a lot of value from Teamfight Yasuo W. The Windwalk should do a lot of work against Gen.G. So given all of that, Kingzone is the one who I feel like, as the game goes on, has a lot of options, but early...
Oh, not quite able to land that leap. And, well, okay, here comes Rascal trying to get that passive. Should be able to. It's going to hop on in, but can QV get the kill? Doesn't have much mana here. Rascal just trying to run away from this one. Is going to get the lifesteal. One more auto is so close, but he's not able to take away Rascal from that one. So Rascal, nice job. Gets the passive off of Zac and gets away alive.
Rascal will say calculated. Someone else would say greedy. One more auto, and it certainly was greedy. The passive was up on Peanut. So that's all they can claim, but it does end up being a free passive, especially with the changes in how the stealthing works on the Shroud there. You're always going to be hit by one or two more autos, a bit more accountable, and that was very, very close. Too close for comfort for me.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Now Rascal finding newfound confidence, getting in the face of QV this time around, picking up Sork Boots as QV picks up his own Spectre's Cowl. He's going to be just fine. But Peanut, on the other hand, he doesn't have a passive, trying to hop to the plant, and away he will go. But a very tumultuous start here for Peanut on the Zac. Doesn't look anything like game one.
But isn't it cool to see Kingzone now have the early game plan? They don't have the Zac. They don't have a secret weapon, one that they want to shield in the early game. They know that there's a lot of impetus for them to play aggressive, and we're seeing Kingzone probably heed some words from the coaches who would have said, you had this huge Ezreal and you did nothing with it. This time, we're seeing them against Gen.G taking that scaling jungler, play a lot more aggressive, and already feels like game 2 will be more competitive than game 1 proved to be.
That's certainly the way that we felt this this day was going to go, the second matchup. We thought it was going to be very even. Game 1, a little bit too Gen.G sided to be predictable, but this time around in game 2 looking much better.
CS lead in the jungle kind of encapsulates what we've been talking about. That's a lot of caps for 7 minutes. To be on the side of Gragas, not warned by the enemy. Oh, doesn't hit there. Life's level 4, so that would have been a huge chunk. Horn and Cuz come down. Remember, Gragas Yasuo could not be any more reliable at proccing the last breath.
And Cuz so far ahead, I mean, there's not much that Peanut can do. He's just taking his red and backing. He's so far behind at this point. So level 6 Cuz, level 5 Peanut in the jungle. They can just move on over, and already a couple of chunks going the way of Def Deuce in the bot lane.
Juve pushing up in the top side. So top side pushing, that means Peanut's top side jungle is pretty safe. Mid lane, as we'd expect with range versus melee. This early pre-1 item. No Phantom Dancer for the Yasuo, so Zoe doing well. But bot side is the one that's gone for the scaling, and thus bot side invade should happen again and again. And that's why Cuz has been sided bot side so frequently.
It's essentially a 4-on-4, more of like a 3-on-2, it almost feels like, with how much Cuz has been down here and how little Peanut has been able to match him. Fly trying his best, actually catches the Gragas on the backside somehow, so that's really fortunate for them.
Oh,
though the blue buff will go the way of Peanut.
That's a struggle. I think that was just a accident there, because the problem with that is now Fly doesn't have blue to control the Yasuo. It should mean the Yasuo farm numbers go up. So the contest there, it's to either steal blue or get it over.
Wow, he's getting in there with the Ignite. He's super close to the kill, nearly gets it down, but Rascal forced to ultimate away just to safety.
Single Q there would have been enough to proc the ultimate, so that stops it. We're seeing the mid lane rotation that's already popping the Predator. QV could be dead, and Rascal seems to know it.
Looks like a QV with no flash here is in so much trouble. One play from Cuz, not able to dodge that one. First blood will go to the Akali again.
And that's why top lane is always played on the razor's edge. They get the answering kill because QV can't register the final bit of damage. The moment he realized it was too late, Predator was always going to mean the Fat Man was damn quick. Watching the replay here, the moment that the turn comes, because he knows that Shadow, this is the end of course, this is not the initial trade, but by the end when the Shadow goes down, he knows that he's done for. Guy's able to not pick up the kill and allows it to go to the Akali to continue building upon the pen that he's already picked up.
Bottom lane, along the lines of the same storyline of, the bottom side gets behind because the jungler is struggling so much and is not able to help. You can see the level difference, especially in the bottom side. Both the AD and the jungle were down for the majority of that, but now Life trying to get on there to flash forward. That's a nice little play. Gets the stun immediately onto Deucin. Here's Zac as Deucin and Dev way too far forward, puts them together, and it's going to get the Ezreal and the Tahm Kench. And how about a double kill to Ruler?
That was amazingly played by Life. That was so damn good. I have to actually watch it and show the viewers how he played that out. But given everything that's going to happen with Tahm Kench, Ezreal, and the Devour timing, you could not have played that better as the Alistar. Greatest moment of his career so far, as Pawn's got 2 people to deal with.
Oh, Pawn, he's going to put that down, but he does have the cleanse to get away from the trouble bubble. But how about the ultimate here? Just looking to chunk him down, as Cuba actually didn't have his ultimate to get on top of him, but gets the kill regardless.
Faces the kill, picks it up. Important to get a kill, answering on Pawn to punish him. Going down the lane, and now his cleanse and his flash on cooldown. Watch the bottom and think about Life, who has to remember things here. The pulse seems like too much, but he holds onto the stun and stuns the Tahm Kench, so has nowhere to go. He can't flash over the wall. There's the fattest part of the wall you won't get over with a flash. So literally Life outthought every possible escape of Ezreal Tahm Kench, the most safe bot lane you can pick.
Yeah, I mean, he had a really nice pulverize in game 1, but this one was much more technical as he went into detail there. Life showing up. He was the gigantic question mark on the side of Gen.G. We had no idea what to expect, but so far, his Alistar is pretty good.
Again, it's Ezreal Tahm Kench, and you only have Headbutt Pulverize and a following stun that requires setup with the Trample. So, given those things, there's a reason why this matchup happens so much. The best you usually get is Headbutt Pulverize onto the Ezreal and then stunning the Tahm Kench. This was so much more technical than that and really well played out.
Yeah. It's, you know, generally we just say, wow, what a pulverized play and Alistar, cool combo, you know, but that was just a thinking man's combination, I suppose you could say, on the side of Alistar. I know all the Alistar mains will watch that one and say, hey, how could I play like that? Because certainly a defining moment for life in the early stages for him.
Now, Def's mid lane. Never saw this in game number 1. And every time Def goes mid lane, it means a lot of poke, and the Zoe also has a bit of a struggle. Peanut jumps away. Fawn's in no man's land, but who's ganking who here?
Looks like Peanut's almost just running away from everybody, and it looks like Peanut now in a lot of trouble is going to have to ultimate his way out of there. Able to avoid the cask, though, which was very nice. And so he will get away safely.
Back away. No one ends up pinching anyone, but there was so much looming doom on both sides there, but none of it's going to be wielded. Yasuo on the side lane against the Zoe, but this is a Yasuo with not much, right? He's got some cool boots, but doesn't have the Phantom Dance he'd much prefer to hit the side lane. Still going to be a good matchup into the Zoe. Top side, Rascal's very overextended.
Okay, well, he's going to get the checkpoint, but can he get away is the real question. Rascal going to ultimate away. Is he out of range of that one? Ruler is going to hit him, of course. And there it is, the Fear Beyond Death. That's going to go over to Urgot. Really fantastic play from KeSPA and Ruler, putting 1 and 2 together for a kill.
Man, these Urgots today, and even the KeSPA as well, the line skill shot accuracy has been fantastic on the side of Gen.G. In the mid lane, Kingzone going to go for the much more expected escape on this Tahm Kench. Going bot side, and this is a nice map movement by Kingzone after the failed play top side.
How will Gen.G respond? They have the push on the top side, getting some checkpoints for themselves, but also tons of pressure in the mid lane. As Rascal, I mean, he's still dead. Pawn is down in the bottom side. Cuz by himself can't stop this. Might be a kind of 1-for-2-ish trade here in terms of tower damage.
It should be more checkpoints to the side of Gen.G, but turrets falling should be even at best. And Kingzone, that was the best move they could make because they lost their top laner, so they were always going to be out-traded in some way. But that's the reality here. We're going to watch the replay as Rascal. If you look at the minimap, he doesn't really know much of anything. He doesn't have any vision control. It's a very solo queue play to be that far up the lane. The Void Seeker's sent out. Of course it hits. Everything Ruler touches, it just turns into gold. This guy has the Midas touch, as we found out in 2017. Yeah. Wasn't quite enough in 2018, but Ruler had a great year overall. They register that one. Gen.G overall, the gold trade is pretty good. But overall, the gold for Kingzone, you'll notice, because Zach initially was held pretty far ahead. If you look at where the gold is actually laden, it's pretty even across the board, with pilfering and other things, giving Kingzone a bit of a lead.
Well, Peanut going to be pretty happy that sometimes now he can be carried by just one person. In the past, I suppose it was BDD, of course, and even Khan on the side of Kingzone. Things, unfortunately, sort of fell apart towards the end of their run, getting 3-0'd actually by Gen.G in the World Qualifiers before that one. And now, Peanut didn't have the best game, but Ruler somehow, again, every single game he plays, he doesn't die and he gets on a streak. And it's on a late game carry again. Same thing on the KeSPA, so definitely feels bad, man, for the side of Kingzone.
Drake's going to be started by Gen.G. This will be the first Drake of the game. Notice the Rift Herald has not been started in the first 15 minutes. We saw some battling that made that tricky to pull off as the ultimate. Again, nowadays it's going to be a lot harder to steal, and Kuz decides to celebrate on the Gen.G Drake by throwing his ult in as well.
I mean, Ezreal's in every game if he's not banned, basically. You're going to know to expect that, and so, of course, it's not going to do as much damage as you were mentioning. But either way, here's Peanut trying to get on top of him. Of course, it's Ezreal, Tahm Kench. You catch them once, you're not going to catch them twice.
And just returning to what I was mentioning, when it comes to vision, Kingzone just took the bot lane turret, but when it comes to actually getting a map lead, and remember, wards have told the story of the KeSPA Cup. So many pick comps that have been some of their ward lines. they didn't have any wards around the Drake area, so it was a very easy take from the side of Gen.G. It's not so much about what you get, it's what you get afterwards. You have to be super greedy in this fast-reactive meta. Speaking of greed, flying, Pawn in melee range.
Yeah, they're just running at Pawn and now trying to kidnap him, really just trying to escape as Fly is going to be the unfortunate one, although he flashes away. Oh, the Q, though. On the backside depth, he's desperately trying to keep his team in the game.
And Ruler actually invests both his summoners to help his ally, and he still dies. Now they're out of position. All Ruler can hope to do is push out a minion wave in the mid, but as his item build is coming together, Kingzone are actually moving around the Ezreal Tahm Kench in a much superior way to what they showed in game number 1. Seeing the replay here, Pawn just walks in and Fly. He goes for a very roundabout way. He thinks a minion wave is being pushed into him for him to just clean out in the bot side. Instead, the Yasuo is sticking around. The rest of Kingzone can join fast, and the flash heal does not save Fly.
You know, he didn't have to walk that way. He saw the Yasuo on the bottom side. He could have just taken the safe route, but you've seen that before. It happens even to the pros from time to time, and unfortunately, as you mentioned, it's not just his depth, it's so much more to the side of Kingzone. So you got to be careful about little mistakes like that. They can certainly turn the tide of the game, not just in the actual game, but in morale as well.
This is when Gen.G is trying to run around Kingzone and get 2 items on Ruler. They're saying, okay, we can't match the items on Ezreal, it's impossible. I need 1,000 gold or so. And if they can just make Kingzone DragonX march to the beat of their drum, which again, hard to do with a Zac draft, but that's what they're trying to do, trying to say, okay, we just need some gold. If you look at the gold totals, it's 29.7, 29. It's not so much about the lead, it's Gen.G saying, we need 35k gold in our team in order to really function how we've drafted for. So getting there and losing the minimum is right now the most pressing goal. Problem is, Yasuo and Akali aren't attractive places for Fly to go to. Even with his summoner up, they're trying to get that gold and not drop too far behind.
Well, 18-minute Rift Herald. This is more uncommon nowadays, as it's usually started way earlier than this, but as you mentioned, so much battling in this game so far, and there's a little bit of vision, but not enough as Gen.G control that area of the map.
And why did Gen.G do that? Starting the Rift Herald is one of the few ways to stop Akali and Yasuo splitting into all hell. You say, okay, but we're going to get this unless you come to us. We know we can't match you in the side lanes. So the fact that Rift Herald was there is kind of a bonus, because otherwise, you really don't have a good way to bring Kingzone to you.
Some scary stuff here for Fly. They have some good vision down for now, but just the looming threat of Gragas Yasuo in a side lane for Zoe is not a good feel. At least Fly will have his flash for the next gank.
Kaz himself walking up, trying to get as much advanced vision as possible on the top side of the map. Again, fallback phase for Gen.G, and that should mean incremental CS advantages to the side of Kingzone, heavily expected with the game state where it is. Kali at 1 item and then some, Sorcerer's Shoes and the Gunblade done, but KeSPA, we already said it's going to be really tricky to be able to split against Yasuo and Akali. He's trying, Valdez. He's trying his best.
See what he can do. Ruler now on 2 items. Feeling pretty good. Would like some more, but Rageblade and Stormrazor, always that very nice spike. But of course, Ezreal on the other side, hitting his spike at around the same time. That most powerful spike in the game, 2-item spike, I should say, in the game. On the side of depths, he, looking a bit better this time around, I suppose you could say. But now they've got to stop the Rift Herald. That's not going to be the easiest pull-off in the world, as they're looking at this mid-turret. KeSPA looking to flank from behind.
Remember, 1-3-1 is what Kingzone want to do. Rift Herald summon and Rift Herald take. 2 ways to try to stop that. See, Kingzone are going to stay in the side lanes. They understand the game that Gen.G is playing, and they're not willing to relent. It's a game of chicken right now, of who can actually... If Gen.G can force all the members of Kingzone into 1 lane, then we're going to see some Zoe sieges and potentially some good news stories from Ruler. If it's in the side lanes, that should be good news for Kingzone.
Ocean Drake is the next one. Gen.G having a monopoly on all the Drakes so far in the series. This is now potentially looking to be their 7th Drake in total, had 5 in the first game. Now they're going to pick up their 2nd in this game. So Ocean Drake, not the best at this moment, but at least you can begin to add to that Drake stack that you do have going.
And confirmation that it'll be Cloud as the last, so no Inferno spawning in this game number 2. It's a frustrating thing inside of Gen.G. Rascal lies in wait. Peanut will probably shadow either Fly or QV as he goes between lanes here, and Alistair probably has to do the other one. Again, Kingzone want to make this map so wide. Double down on Yasuo, Akali side lanes, farming up very, very well in the early game.
Can't help but get that feel that Ruler, though, if they can force a fight, he's just going to pop off immensely this time around. We'll have to wait and see if they can actually force a fight. It looks like we have, the coach took them into the back room and said, hey, we're going to play this certain kind of style. And so far, Kingzone looking very good to play that 1-3-1 split pushing kind of style. So far, no big mistakes that I've noticed.
You just keep trying to drag Gen.G into the 1-3-1. You're going to keep incrementally poking Gen.G and saying, okay, we got another order on that inner turret. Okay, now we're getting half health on that inner turret. This Yasuo is getting a lot of items. And then you're trying to pull them so far that they break. That's what they're trying to do in this particular game. Whereas Gen.G want a team fight, like you mentioned. To pull that team fight off, you kind of need them to be on the same side or to get a really big engage from Peanut. Right now, it's Peanut taking free damage, but he's flashing.
Yeah, Deft went in for the forward E, and Peanut just decided, this is my chance. We can force a team fight. You can see how they're getting a bit desperate at times, and well, Deft is able to hop away in the Devour, and no summoners used on that side. Now trying to get on top of Tucson, and Deft here is QV. Red Glory comes in, but no dice.
Just so unlikely that a Let's Bounce that's actually forced to be stayed in by a Headbutt Pulverize combo is going to work, right? Summoners are up, it's Ezreal. It's very, very unlikely they're going to get any sort of those combos off. So you're right, there is that sign of desperation coming through from Gen.G, knowing that you need to make flashes pretty fast when you're against Yasuo Gragas.
At least he had his wits about him. We've seen so many people get caught there if they're not fast enough, but you could tell in that position he had his finger on F. Papa Smithy.
Ooh.
F for flash, of course.
It's D for Dlash and F for fire.
Well, he had his finger on whatever button it was, and
I'm showing you a finger right now.
Yeah, you
Does
are.
it look like a thumbs up?
It does, actually. Thanks, Papa.
Broadcast acceptable.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got something in my eye.
That was your pointer finger, Papa. It's not the right one.
Oops.
Yeah. You can see Cuz is just hounding Fly, essentially. Now that Fly doesn't have his flash, it's an even easier gank on the top side.
But Kingzone hanging back. That's the brush you want the Yasuo in, the one at the entrance of walking to top side, not further in. Dev continues to push, but not getting meaningful damage onto this inner turret. Again, that's the issue, is that you feel really good in the laning phase as Kais is warming up, but the moment she has 100 AD, that wave gets trimmed so easily and targeted with the Q. Where is the safety? Where is Peanut? Is right now is not something they know for sure. They know he's not at his Krugs, and his Krugs are on cooldown, but no other camps awarded by the side of Kingzone, so their info is only what they can see, and they see Peanut.
Peanut in a bunch of trouble is going to Let's Bounce into the Baron Pit and then get the hell out of there. Fly able to fast in there, but look at the Rascal in the back line. Going to get on top of Fly. They take him out life with a nice knock up there, but he's all alone as the split is real. Kingzone able to pick them apart with the Missile Voyage, and TPs gets 2 kills in this fight.
Your team has been kiting back. Deft even steals away the red buff as well. That is what map pressure does to you, Valdez. You end up making a mistake. They got poked too hard, and Peanut falls down, and now they're on Baron. Kingzone DragonX.
Lots of vision too. Take a look at all of those blue wards in the red side. Peanut gonna have a really hard time stealing this one, and over the wall goes Deft as well, but in goes Ruler. They're trying to get the Ezreal, but they can't. Now it's Ruler versus Rascal. Peanut extremely low as well, and Ruler getting burst down here, and there's the flash. Is able to take him out. Peanut gets the knockup though, but a second passive pop is going to come in for the Zac, but a 1-for-1. In the end, though, guys, the Baron is not taken.
And that's the most important part. That's what they're trying to do, stop the Baron from going down. We watched the replay here, and this is just what pressure does to you. Eventually, inevitably, you'll be too greedy and make a mistake. Peanut too far up, even though Zac is able to get out. It's not about whether Peanut dies at the start or not. It's what is forced to happen in positioning of the rest of his allies trying to come to his aid. One member is out of position. Zoe goes down first. Doesn't matter that Akali is Gonna be able to get the secondary kill there, and Akali goes down. If the Baron was actually claimed and Akali went down, that would be very helpful, but in the end, it's just a gold transfer. That's the only good piece of news for Gen.G.
Ruler 2-1-2 lost his streak at the same time, so lots of different gold transfers coming in. Cloud Drake is here. Looks like they want to start it up, get another Drake to spawn, but we could just have another fight begin right away.
The Predator seems to assume yes, Valdez.
It's just the way things go on the new patch. You see the Zoe here fly, trying his best to get on in there. Gen.G trying to turn, and there's this, the smite rather. Nice Ezreal ultimate, and now Gen.G want none of that fight. Gonna take the Cloud Drake and go back.
And if you noticed, why did Gen.G get away with it? They were in the formation that we keep talking about. That means they had 5 members, all of one mind. We're kiting up and kiting back together. We got the objective, let's get out. That's what objectives do. They funnel you in to predictable pathing, and that is where Gen.G's teamfight comp can do very good things. That was what was denied by Peanut having to jump out in one way, while the bot side was caught. The Zoe went down because of the Yasuo and the Gragas ult. That is what happens here. That is the duality of 1-3-1 versus teamfight. And that's why I really, really do love when we don't just see pick comp versus pick comp, because when it is pick comp versus pick comp, if you start leading, you're going to have the better wards, you're going to blow up people faster because there's so much damage in the game, and it's very predictable. When it's like this, the game is a little bit more technical, and different things can happen that can have really big impacts, even if on their face they are very, very small.
There's a lot more different strategies going head-to-head, and pretty much any team can win from this position. You know, it's not a guarantee, even though Kingzone looking good right now, that they're going to take it. No guarantee that Gen.G can come back and pawn. There's the push. They're going to go, though, for the Baron. No TP on pawn.
It's the only other way they can stay in formation, a pick and a Baron start. They have Zac, remember, so they can tank Baron for days.
They can. QV lying in wait, avoids the sweeper for now. Not able to hit the panel star, but into the back line. They want Tucson, but the Grey Health comes in, but there's the Fear Beyond Death.
Roll
and he
up.
goes to Flash Spear, and Ruler into the back line. He's going to take a second one down with the help of Urgot. Gets a third one on the backside, and it looks like Gen.G, they fight the fight they were looking for.
Right at the Baron, and good things will happen. The turn there, how long it took to sweep out the Urgot was so consequential. Peanut on the team fight, Zac does the rest, the Baron goes to Gen.G.
Unbelievable play as a team there from the side of Gen.G. Super well played here. Fly now in a bit of trouble, though, as Pawn. Oh, he's going to be hit by the Trouble Bubble. Cleanse comes through. Either way, there's the knockup. He's going in. Zonya's going to be procced here. Fly in a bit of trouble, but he's got the rest of his team nearby. But Gen.G, they have another breath in this game.
Those are the cute things you can do with Portal Jump. Yes, the ult still arms, but you lose out on 3 or 4 autos because of the travel time. Watch the replay here. Urgot comes in, again, this off by Tucson, and then the flash in by Peanut. Waste time forever, and procs the ability to join the fight as Ruler. He chooses his spot. KeSPA does the rest. Beautiful stuff. Great team fighting from Gen.G.
Yeah. They focused down Tucson on the Tom Kents as well to make sure that the Fear Beyond Death would happen. The Flash Fear on 3 people was just, it was beautiful stuff. That's what we want to see here at the highest level of League of Legends. And, well, Gen.G looking good so far. They're, you know, as we said, no guarantee that Kingzone would keep up with the 1-3-1. No guarantee that Gen.G would come back. But with a play like that, can't really help feel like Gen.G want this one a lot.
The thing I like about Gen.G is, especially in the second series we're seeing from them today, they seem to know what they need to do. They seem to know who's the carry, who the bus driver is, the Korean analogy, and also what their win conditions are, and that's already good news. And they've been able to deal with proactivity themselves and against proactivity pretty well. Yeah. Put all those things together, they seem like a pretty strong team, and Kingzone seems to be still learning as the games go on.
It's funny you say that because it's such a simple concept, but if you think about it, a lot of the lower level LCK teams have a lot of trouble with that. So many teams, you know, in the past, right, MVP and BBQ, they would get ahead and then they would be like, wait, how do we win exactly? I forget. But either way, Cass is going to come through, not going to go in. Urgot's doing way too much damage. In goes Peanut, and now Kingzone are totally separated. Tucson in the back line.
Ruler.
Here goes Ruler into the back line. He's going to get on top of Cuz, and this is looking like a stop now in these fights. Rascal able to get 1 kill. Ruler's going into the base right now. 1v1 versus Death. But Rascal is going to go down. GA popped, but Gen.G pushing for the win.
Ruler is the ace of base. That's the thing about him. He's able to be that blue chip. He didn't need to be the hard carry this time, but still does his job. Great team performance from Gen.G. This was such a hard game. I loved watching the push and pull of 1-3-1 and Teamfight. Teamfight's going to win out on this day, and Gen.G will win 2-0.
Yeah, Kingzone had a decent showing here in their first time coming in with the new roster, but Gen.G just looking like the much better team. Def gonna get a little consolation prize on his way out, but it does not matter. Gen.G moving on to the semifinals of KeSPA Cup.
What an awesome game. Really fun game 2 to end what was a 4-0 day. Gen.G answer Kingzone DragonX on their debut in the KeSPA Cup, and it ends up being a short time. The good times roll for Gen.G, and suddenly KT versus Gen.G, a matchup with a lot of history, is going to be confirmed for the best of 5. A best of 5 where Gen.G gate-kept KT from Worlds 2 years in a row. Both went to Worlds this year, and it was KT's year compared to Gen.G's. But Gen.G, they changed things up. They don't have poor JJ. They don't get all the big names I think people were looking for, and yet in the lineup they seem to have some great opportunities to go far in 2019.
That's a mouth-watering semifinals, and I mean, just watching the first game of Gen.G, you might not have expected that this level was possible out of them. It was honestly very sloppy up against Sandbox Gaming. They still took the 2-0. We know they have the skill. Even this guy, Life, on the Alistair, showing up again and just saying, hey, I know everybody's talking about my youngs, my older brothers, and they're all the carries, and I'm just trying to ride the bus, but his Alistair play was also something to remark in this game.
Meanwhile, you look at Kingzone, and it does feel like what we were initially pitching of. Rascal, Cuz, Pawn as a starter, don't know what to feel about it. The bot lane looks good on paper, will it be enough? The answer is no. The answer is there's still a lot of work to be done for Kingzone DragonX. They looked definitely a tier to 2 tiers below Gen.G today, and that's partly because Gen.G got to work out some kinks a couple of days ago and come in a lot better than their first showing, but also it could be a result of roster construction. We'll have to wait and see. Remember, as it stands, Kingzone DragonX have no 6th man, let alone 10-man roster. If you look in solo queue, there is KZ, I believe, carrier in the top 5. Underage player, won't be able to play until 2020 from my understanding, as a support player as well. So Tucson already is in that spot. So Kingzone have a lot to work on with LCK less than a month away.
Well, this is where we began to realize, hey, Life knows his stuff on the Alistair. Just the way he constructs this play to get a double kill to Ruler early. You know, if Ruler didn't catch this double kill in the beginning of the game, who knows how this game would have gone. And so, able to get the snipe up here on the top side is Ruler. No surprise, once again, with the help of Kive. Kive picking up the kill there. And it was close. You know, Kingzone nearly get a Baron, nearly get onto inhibitor turrets, but just not quite able to push it far enough.
Now, they did kill Ruler, so just like Teddy, a death does ruin that deathless streak. Over an hour, I believe an hour and a half almost, for Ruler, but he finally goes down. When the team fights came out, there was no surprise that the 1-3-1 ended and the good times rolled for Gen.G. The flash away from the cask here. Remember, Gragas Yasuo is supposed to be reliable. Didn't look that reliable in this particular second game of our second series today. I really enjoyed that game. It had a lot of good feels to it. It was finally not just pick comps running at each other. Ezreal did Ezreal things, and yet it didn't matter. Team performance from the side of Gen.G is enough to take this game number 2.
Yep, really was a team game in this one. I know a lot of people will be saying, lol, Yasuo 3,500 damage, and yeah, I mean, he wasn't really present in a lot of those fights. You know, the last fight that really got Gen.G ahead was because the Yasuo was pushing the bot lane, but I would more so, you know, rack this up to the side of Gen.G just playing a fantastic macro game.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing from Gen.G. Should have a winning interview with a couple of MVPs right about now.
Let's hear what they have to say on the side of Gen.G.
두 번째 경기에서 승리한 Gen.G 스포츠의 두 선수 만나보겠습니다. 룰러 선수와 큐베
Here we go.
선수입니다.
Ruler and Kive
안녕하세요.
in the interview.
와, 오늘 정말 무결점에 가까운 경기를 보여주셨습니다. 특히 룰러 선수
Pretty much flawless play from Gen.G today.
보여주셨거든요. 오늘 경기
Especially Ruler, he showed insanely good KeSPA play. How do you feel?
라인전이 좀 만족스럽지 못해서 뭐 후반에
I'm happy to get the 2-0 for my team.
큐베 선수 같은
But I'm
경우에는
not 100% satisfied with my lane play.
좋아진 모습으로 팬들을 만족시키셨습니다. 본인
Kive,
스스로도 오늘
you showed a much
경기
better
만족스러우실 것
performance
같은데요.
compared to the first matchup. Are you satisfied with your performance compared to the last time?
1세트 같은 경우에는 룰러 선수
He said, yeah, I personally think that I liked my play a lot more this time.
한타에서 사실
Really showed a lot of super plays today.
끼리 교환하고 마무리되는 줄 알았던 한타가 있었어요.
네.
근데 룰러 선수가 부시에 숨어
So even the
있다가
top side,
바로 튀어나와서 더블킬
there was a fair
기록하셨거든요.
trade of these supports from each team. But you were hiding in the bush, and then all of a sudden, you flash out and you get a double kill, and you make the whole play continue. So, what do you think?
그 장면뿐만
said, I
아니라
practiced
정말
so
멋진
much
장면도
KeSPA.
많았는데 사실 그 전
Crazy amounts of
1세트에서
KeSPA. So
운영을 다
I know
쳤던 게
exactly
그
the
첫
right
공이
angle in order to get the kills, and that's basically where I find the skill to be able to do that.
아칼리 보자마자도 우르고스를
We saw it in full
가져갔거든요.
display about us. He was great.
좀 생각을 하셨던 건지도 궁금해요.
So when your opponents pick Sakali, you picked Urgot. You picked that reverse matchup.
반대가 돼서 저희가 자신 있었기 때문에
So was it expected that you would
두
pick
번째
up some
세트에서는
kills?
약간 탑챔프가 교환되는 양상도 보였어요.
네.
그때 좀 어떠셨어요? 이제
So
라이너들의 또 자존심
it's a fair
대결이잖아요.
pick from both sides. You know, it's a response champion on either side, and definitely an even matchup.
먹어도 큰 상관이 없었다고 생각했어요.
이 두 번째 세트 같은 경우에는 상대가 진짜 제대로 칼을 휘둘러 보겠다라는 마음가짐이 보였던
couldn't catch the end of that one, but
조합이었거든요. 그라가스, 야스오까지 나왔는데 좀 뱀픽은 어떠셨나요, 룰러 선수? 두 번째.
So your opponents picked Gragas
그대로
Yasuo.
좀 그대로 가서 많이
So
무난하게
what do you think
가면
about those
이기지
picks in
않을까
the second match?
생각했는데 저희가 많이 휘둘려서 좀
He said as long as we
두 번째 세트 진짜 중반까지는
we pick
팽팽했어요. 아마
champions that we're
바로
comfortable
한타가
with.
중요했던 것 같은데
He says that we could
바텀에 있는 걸
win the
보자마자
game
바로는 치셨거든요.
pretty easily, but there were some dirty moments in that game where we weren't 100% sure.
그때 한타 상황은 또 어땠나요?
제가 야수가 보이자마자
So whenever you catch the opponent, the Zac just makes the engage.
침으로 이제 상대가 와가지고 이제 벌까게 보여서 그냥 걸어가지고.
So there was a call. If we catch
역시
the Yasuo,
선수가
we
정말
just
좋은
go in
경기력을
for the
보여주고
dive.
있는데
And
룰러
that was
선수도
pretty much the play
또 선수와 호흡을 맞추다가
in
이번엔
that
라이프
second
선수와
game.
또 호흡을 맞추고 있어요.
네.
어떠세요?
So those
좀
two show
끌어주는
pretty good
입장이
teamwork.
되니까 또 어떠신가요?
제가 끌어주기
Monicas.
전에 일단 이 라이프
But
친구가
how about now in the bot lane,
기본적으로
you and Life?
그런 부분에
You showed
대해서
great
많이
teamwork
편했던
with
것
Core
같아요.
JJ, but what do you think
근데
about your new
라이프 선수를
support?
왜 그렇게 예뻐하세요?
He says
제가
Life has
사진을
some
보면
great mechanical
항상 라이프
skills,
선수를 껴안고 있고 쓰다듬고
but
있고 막
you know, we need
어떤
more
점이
time
그렇게
to
예쁘세요?
build up our teamwork together.
얘가 좀
So you've shown a lot of
말을 많이 안
affection
듣긴
towards
하는데
Life.
좀 많이 귀엽고 좀
So you must really like him.
그런 것 같아요.
정말
He says he doesn't really listen to me
느껴지는데
as the
옆에서
youngest
보면
member in the
좀 어떤가요?
네, 뭐 보기.
And as a young and older brother, I feel like he's really cute.
Ruler definitely has a love-hate relationship with Life. It's really fun to track.
주장을 맡게 됐잖아요.
아, 네.
좀
So
달라진
what do you think about Life, Kive?
딱히 뭐 크게.
He's the youngest member.
달라진 건
He still
없는
looks
것
like he's
같긴
doing pretty
한데
good.
그래도 저희 이제 캡틴이 좀 그래도 나름의.
So I think he said that the
네.
jungle has been changed
잘생겨서
too.
좋아한다는 얘기가 또 있어요.
아유.
사실인가요?
그 못생긴 것보다 잘생긴 게 좋잖아요.
자, 알겠습니다. 자, 이제 4강 경기인데요. 4강 경기의 상대는 KT 로스터입니다.
KT요?
네.
We're talking about
왜요?
not liking Fly because he's really handsome from the side of
KT
Kive.
로스터와의 경기 좀 어떨 거라고 예상하시나요?
So he's asking, am I facing KT in the next match? That is confirmed. Kive says, whoever plays better on the day will win. So what about you, Ruler?
실수 없이 하면은 그래도 반응 가지 않을까 싶네요.
앞으로의 경기가 더
I think I can really
캐스파컵의 경기를 한 경기 한 경기 더 할수록 발전하고 있는 모습을 보여주고 있는 젠지 때문에 팬들 역시
the results are going to be whoever makes the last mistake will lose.
드립니다.
이제 저희 팀의 선수들이 많이 나가고 많이
So how about
나왔는데
some words to the fans?
다들 좋은 눈빛으로 많이 봐주셨으면 좋겠고 항상
There's a
열심히
lot of changes in the team,
많은 응원 부탁드리겠습니다.
but I hope that the
네, 큐베
fans
선수도
show a lot of
가관하게
affection to our new players and the roster, and thank you so much for all the support you've shown us.
저희 더 발전할 수 있을 거라고 생각하고 다음
So
경기에
Kive
더
says,
좋은
we've had a lot of changes, but I have a lot of
네, 다시 한번
expectations
두 선수
for
축하드리고
our
인사
lineup that we
고맙습니다.
will improve
고맙습니다.
more and more as we
자,
go
이렇게 해서
along
오늘의
here.
두 번째 경기에서
Going
승리한
into
젠지 esports의 두
2019.
선수,
So
룰러
that was
선수와
Ruler and
큐베 선수
Kive.
함께
Nice to
했습니다.
hear from them, especially some of the the fun stuff in their life. The young guy there doesn't really listen too well to his youngs, but still is a great player, and he's cute. So Ruler likes him.
If you go on those Gen.G YouTube VODs, they're all translated, by the way. The Gen.G YouTube's great to look at.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of Ruler bullying and prodding life rather than life being the kind of rapscallion he's been named at. So I think that's a bit Ruler focused, but it's fun to see a bit of flavor around there. And then we get this awesome best of 5, KT and Gen.G. We knew that Gen.G always beat Kingzone, and that came to be. How will Gen.G versus KT Rolster go? It's going to be fun to see as tomorrow the good times keep rolling out as you and I bring Afrika versus Griffin, the final 2 teams to debut in the KeSPA Cup. Griffin seen as this overlord that didn't change anything and is still just as good as they were as the runners-up of the summer season. And then Damwon versus SKT. 2 of the new guys on the scene with the SKT Dream Team and Damwon, who haven't been able to live up to their reputation but still have some very high highs.
That they do. Damwon, if they come in clean up against SKT, that could be the highlight matchup. And then I would expect Griffin. We've been hearing a lot about Griffin and how they are definitely one of the stronger teams that we continue to have here in the LCK in Korea. So really excited to see them in action with the same roster and see how they've improved.
If I had to choose one matchup I'm super hype about tomorrow, it's top lane in the second series, because Nogari has been just unworldly in this tournament, and Khan has been playing a lot of Urgot, but we know how high his highs can be. If Nogari plays at that level against SKT, will it be enough to win through top lane? Probably not, but will it be explosive? Definitely yes.
It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be amazing, that matchup. But not only that, just all around the Rift, you guys might have noticed Faker versus Showmaker in the mid lane is also going to be a fantastic lineup.
If the story starts with Damwon Gaming on blue, need to blind pick a mid lane, and a Katarina is locked in by Showmaker blind against Faker.
Please.
Oh. You just need to know.
Please do it.
If that's the start of a story, if you stop the story there, everyone's like, no, what happens? Like,
Yeah.
I need to know. And
That's
I need
the
to know
cliffhanger.
now. I'm already bouncing thinking about it. So what if? It's probably not going to happen. I think he might have the Katarina beaten out of him after the first game was so sloppy from them a few series ago. But the what-ifs about League of Legends this time of year, again, it's like opening presents. We're still learning. We still have not seen all the teams at KeSPA Cup. We'll get them in our first series as Afrika and Griffin make that debut.
Yeah, make sure you guys join us for tomorrow's games. It might be the best day outside of the finals that we will have here for the KeSPA Cup. But either way, guys, thank you once again for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow for more KeSPA Cup.
And now you don't believe it's true. A better day is coming.